Welcome to Footy Kickin Good. I'm Jamie Moraes here with some usuals on the guest, Michael Flynn, Mikhail Quinless. Boys, second round of footy's down. Flynn, Mickey, let's start with you. How you feeling with your Eagles?
Let's see. I'm all right. Like I did not
Holding back tears.
I did not think we got to win it all today. Like I was literally just got to check scores and all that. But then I was like, screw it. I'll put it on the phone and stuff because I was doing work in the background. And then I was like, all right, we kicked the first 5 goals. And you get to this point, you're like, now I want to win the game.
Yeah.
Because first I was like, oh, if we get within 5 goals, 6 goals, I'm happy with that. But then we get with 5 goals in front. I was like, all right, now I actually want to win the game. And then I got nervous again.
The thing, man, it's the hope that kills you.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
There's so you go into so many games thinking like, oh, we're no hope, and then you're doing well, and you're like, oh, like I cannot believe that we can do this.
I saw the odds. I think we were like $15 or something. I was like, I'll do cheeky bet.
Do you think that would have been a bigger upset than Richmond Carlton last week? Or
I was going to actually ask you guys that, but
It actually technically is. No, it would be because Brisbane's a much higher rated team. I mean, most people have them in
at
the
the
top 4.
Gabba. And Eagles coming off a 90-point loss last week, like that would have been and without Waterman and Graham, like that would have been huge.
No, 100%. Look, last time we filmed an episode, it was straight after the Collingwood Giants game. Yeah, things have changed for your mob. I mean,
mate,
up and about.
A week's a long time. 2 weeks now.
2 weeks now.
But you were talking about last week. But look, I just think the GWS game, it could possibly be a bit of an anomaly. We're seeing teams lose by heaps and win the next week. St. Kilda this week.
Big blowouts as well.
Yeah, I just reckon, like, especially at the start of the season with teams coming off different pre-season preparations in terms of like, some played opening round, some didn't. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of weird results, I think, because of that.
Yeah. No, it's a bit interesting. With the Pies, it's one that, people are almost ready to write them off, and all of a sudden it's like, these guys are going to contend again. And you never know.
It's a bit like in when you lose the first week of the finals and the team that loses gets written off straight away.
Yeah. More often than not, they beat a team in the second semi.
Yeah. But normally you look back at round 1 or 2 and you go, wow, that was actually a big upset. And you don't really put it together until you see the teams play out.
The other thing was just the fact that like Hawthorn and Brisbane started really poorly last year.
Yeah.
So it's a long season and you don't necessarily have to be playing your best footy at the start of the year, which could possibly be a concern for a team like Adelaide, considering how well they're going in the first couple of rounds. But I think as well, I think Collingwood's just going to look to sort of follow the Geelong philosophy of like resting all players. Like, Pendlebury was the sub last week.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more of that this year. We've got the oldest list ever, so I think there's just going to be heaps of players being subbed.
Seen a few teams employing that with their older heads on the list.
Yeah.
But moving on, boys, what have we learnt this week? So, popular segment. Maybe I'll throw it to Mick first. Mick, what do you got lined up?
So I was just watching the Saints Cats game.
Oh,
not because I really cared who won, but because I had a few multis on it. But I've learned that St. Kilda are Geelong's bogey team.
Yeah.
They have won 3 of the last 4 games.
At Marvel, and I think
four in a row at Marvel against the Cats.
You were telling me this before the game as well, Flynny. I didn't really.
But I was trying to make it interesting. I didn't actually think they would win.
It would have helped if my multi because I didn't have Geelong head to head.
Yeah, but Tom Stewart went down early. That probably
Tom Stewart going down, and somebody else.
Bailey Smith
was a late for all. That also leads me to: is Geelong's midfield just like depended on Bailey Smith and was it Max Holmes?
He got shut down. Windhagen did a really good job on him.
They shut Max Holmes down and they really got dominated in that.
Are they probably the 2 most important pieces in terms of facilitating their offense?
Yeah, well, that midfield, obviously, Cam Guthrie's injured. Tanner Bruin, we don't know when he's going to be back.
Yeah.
I just felt like you were staring at me. We dance around that one. And I think Max Holmes is very taggable. Yeah. I think we've seen in the past, like if you put someone to him, you can shut him down. So, yeah, I think teams will be employing a tag.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on because Dangerfield's playing primarily as a forward now as well.
And that was what I found. They had Jeremy Cameron on the wing pretty much the whole game.
Yeah,
I found
just getting touches. The big thing for the Saints, I think, was they played Hugh Boyd for his first game last week. And I feel like
that was a bit of a mistake.
Roll Marshall's like a top 3 ruck in the league.
I know.
Keep him in there. He's also a big clearance guy.
Yeah.
So I think that made a big difference.
I'm sick of these teams like experimenting with their players positionally.
We saw it with Freo last week with Reedy, I think it is. Like, just play Luke Jackson in there.
Yeah, and even like Draper and Bryan, I feel like that's not working either.
Yeah. No, I agree. What do you think about the Saints? Do you think after that win after beating Geelong, do you think they are in for like a good season? Like, do you think they're middle of the pack, or do you think they are still like maybe a bottom side?
I think they're like from about 10th down. Like, I still think that Ross Lyon is a good coach. Like, he could get enough out of the players that he has. So they will upset a few teams, especially at Marvel as well.
Yeah, I think I saw some signs from some players last night. I spoke of Windhager before. He basically was just treading water, I reckon, the last year or two. He came on the scene and looked really good, and people were like, this is Jack Steele 2.0.
Yeah.
But last night he did a job that reminded me of Steele as an attacking tagger. So he had 25 and kicked 2 goals while tagging Max Holmes out of the game. Do
you want to talk about the leg you had on Darcy Wilson?
Oh, no. I had him for 20 disposals and he was on 16 with about 2 quarters to go and didn't get there. So, it's just,
You're very confident on that one.
He's on the parlay band list for me.
And I also think McRae is a very good pickup.
Yeah,
for St. Kilda.
100%.
I'm still torn with that. Just with what St. Kilda's one of those teams that I don't know what their direction is. What do they want to achieve? Are they trying to play finals? Are they trying to rebuild?
Yeah, look, I agree with you, but but in some ways I think having a guy like that in the midfield will probably better the other players around him. So a guy like Windhager or, I can't even think of any other young off the top of my head. I should have written some down. They're I think they'll be better for it.
Yeah, no, agreed. Flynn, do you want to kick off with what you learnt this week?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's controversial, but Gawn is no longer the best ruckman in the comp.
Yeah, well,
I know he was the All-Australian last year, which was up for debate. I thought one other man was unlucky. But Tristan Xerri, however you say it, is head and shoulders the best ruckman in the game.
I agree.
He is he's doing things that we haven't seen from Ruck. So obviously last year was like crazy tackle stats for a big man. I've never seen a Ruck get that many tackles. I think he's the most tackles as a ruckman by like 40, ever. Like no one has ever done it. But I just want to go through some of the stats from his game against Gawn. So 20 disposals to 11. So he smacked him. He had 12 clearances, Xerri, and Gawn had 1. 10 score involvements from your ruckman.
Yep.
Gawn had 3. He kicked a goal. He took a contested mark on Gawn and kicked a goal. Gawn didn't kick a goal. And the North midfield absolutely beat up on Melbourne, who would probably pride themselves. They got Oliver, Petrarca, Viney.
Yeah.
They got taught a lesson. I think that North midfield is probably in the conversation for the best in the game because of Xerri. He just elevates them to another level.
Do you think that game and that result, do you think that speaks volumes to, is Melbourne perhaps not as good a side as people maybe thought this year, or do you think North Melbourne is actually a lot better?
It's both,
Bit of both?
Yeah. Now, Melbourne, to me, and we were talking about it before, they look like uninspired to me.
Yeah.
They look a bit flat. Obviously, there were rumours that Petrarca wanted out last year, and obviously Oliver's wanted out the last couple of years. It's not a great sign for the club. Yeah. Gawn's obviously he's done it for so long, but he looks like
he's getting on age as well.
Yeah, I think it's caught up with him.
Though I will say, watching that first game against GWS, that was a real, bruise heavy kind of game. He gave 3.5 quarters of absolute eliteness Gawn.
Yeah,
and by the second half of that fourth quarter, he was spent.
Yeah.
And I feel like he looked spent again today, to be honest. Yeah,
they were also playing in the wet and everything last week as well, so that takes a lot out of
takes a toll.
Yeah. One of the things about Xerri, I think he's only 25, or it might be 26.
Yeah, it was injury prone very early in his career as well.
But we know rucks generally don't hit their prime until late 20s, so I think he's going to be and All-Australian ruck for a while now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's a shoo-in. I mean, the job he did on English as well, like he's just nullifying rucks. Like,
and the thing is, right, like there's a lot of teams with average ruckmen.
Yeah.
He's just going to be beating up on everyone.
Yeah, he hasn't actually got one of them yet.
The game I watched, Todd Marshall, also very good.
Oh, yeah?
Ruckman as well.
Rowan Marshall.
Rowan Marshall.
Rowan Marshall.
Yeah. Yep. He's also very good.
I think he's probably in the top 3.
Yeah, I
Marshall.
agree. Yeah. I reckon it's gone Xerri, Marshall for me.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone that fits.
Darcy Cameron and Nankervis, I think, are probably just a little bit down from those guys.
Just underneath, yeah.
And Oscar McInerney as well.
Yeah.
Bailey
Williams did not feature on the list. He went pretty well today, but he did cramp up a bit.
It's never good when you cramp up.
Jamie, what have you learnt?
All right, so I'm going into Essendon.
Now
here's the thing. I think there's 2 sides to the coin here with Essendon. Look, for one, the fans are at a tipping point right now.
Social media was just like a dumpster fire.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a couple of Essendon boys the other day, after the game, and they told me that the halftime and full-time posts Essendon posted had to get taken down.
Really?
Because there was that much kind of abuse coming through.
Oh, jeez.
So
sometimes they just delete
the thing is, right, I enjoy the banter, but sometimes you see comments and you're like, these are people you're talking about. Like, ease up.
Look, I think it's the same that I kind of mentioned with St Kilda. Like, that's a club that there's no direction, there's no basis for what fans are to expect, I guess. Like, if you come out and go, we're rebuilding, and you're losing games, fans go, okay, well, they told us we're rebuilding. But they don't know what's happening. They don't know if we're trying to play finals, and obviously I think Essendon fans are thinking at the moment they're not a finals kind of base side.
I reckon Essendon fans, I know one for sure, Zach, who guarantees me they're going to be playing finals.
No, Zach, if you're watching, no chance. It's a tough line, and I saw a post yesterday, and it was showing like some of their top first round draft picks of like the last sort of 6 years.
Yeah.
There's some absolute shockers in there. Like Zach Reid yesterday probably had one of the worst defensive games I've witnessed.
He's still young though. You have to give him that. Yeah.
I'll give him a little bit of slack, but Sardis, his numbers yesterday were all right.
Yeah.
Still can't hit a target.
Yeah.
That's going to be his Achilles heel.
What do you think about, because he's playing, I think, like under 67% game time.
I don't understand it, honestly. There's a lot of things that Essendon are doing this year that are just baffling.
Is it what Essendon's doing or what Brad Scott's doing?
Well, Brad Scott.
Scott for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, look, I think Brenton Stanton is their midfield coach.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the one tick so far, is their clearance work looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Sardis had, I think, 12 clearances yesterday.
Yeah.
Merritt's obviously, he'd be in your All-Australian team right now.
Yeah.
But that defence and forward line, and just, the defence yesterday was atrocious.
Yeah.
Ben Mackay.
Oh, he's got to be held accountable. The amount
Terrible.
of money he's on.
Yeah. And even Dylan Shield, yesterday was just a disaster for their back line.
Another one, just going back to the kids. So, Brad Scott really does. He kind of favours his older heads more than his kids, and I feel like that's really ruining their development coming in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you've just wasted Sardis and Hobbs and stuff like that. Like, Hobbs was drafted as a midfielder. He doesn't play any midfield, any CBAs. He was drafted. He was looked at like with Josh Ward. They were kind of like toe and toe as kind of the same players.
Yeah.
And you look at Josh Ward's development. Like, he's playing CBAs. He's getting in there. Like, he's improved every year that I've watched him. And I know he's probably on the outer, but he's come in and played great roles and racked up the ball.
And he's playing in a better side.
Yeah, that too. But he's also been given the opportunity to improve himself. I don't feel like I've seen that with Hobbs, but he's stuck on the half-forward line. It's probably the hardest role to play in a poor side.
One of the blokes, we're beating up on Essendon a bit, but I think Archie Perkins has been really disappointing.
Yeah.
When he came into the side, I thought he was going to be like an absolute world beater.
Yeah.
He just hasn't gone anywhere.
There was those 3 players they picked up at the time. It was like Nick Cox, Perkins, and who was
Reid.
the other? No, there's another one.
No, it was Reid.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Reid.
Yeah.
But like, they've all just haven't. I think they had one good year when they made
when
finals.
they first started.
Some people talk about it like that, but like, obviously they had 3 picks that year.
Yeah.
You're only as good as what the draft crop is.
One of the other issues as well, if you look at the history of Essendon with their finals losses, is they've generally made the finals, like scraped into 8th, and played like a genuine top 4 team from the year that slid to 5th.
Yeah.
And if you look at the results, their last like 4 or 5 finals, they've lost by like 50 plus in all of them.
Yeah.
I think the Bulldogs, West Coast, I think Carlton smashed them once.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not enough to just make it. Like you want to build to actually be like, you know,
a powerhouse,
a contender.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I feel like every year where they've made finals, they've been like lucky to even be there.
Yeah.
It's at that one time they were actually going to do something. Is the time they got stripped
spent.
from the finals.
Yeah.
And they would have actually done well that year.
And with that whole supplement saga, like that is the kind of incident that will put your club 10 years back.
Oh, 100%.
Realistically.
It's, you were talking about, you know, like Essendon fans, you know, being really upset. I don't think I've seen more Essendon people talk about the fact that they're just not, they refuse to go and they refuse to. I know of Essendon fans that are like, I didn't get a membership this year. I normally get one. Like, I'm not even going to watch them. Like, because they're just like, because it's soul destroying. Like, I saw a tweet from someone today and they were like, I was born in 2002. I've seen nothing. Like, and they're in their 20s and they've seen absolutely nothing.
Spot on, yeah.
It's a brutal
Look,
life.
I did say it was a tale of two coins, and I feel like there are some positives.
Yeah.
And I know you knocked this on the head, but they obviously did score 100 points against Adelaide.
Yeah.
They scored, I want to say, I can't remember the number off my head, but I think it was like 89 against Hawks.
Yeah.
And the Hawks were really prominent last year at keeping teams under 75 or something like that.
But my argument against that is I think that the style that they're playing is they're playing into like Hawthorn. I can't remember what they scored last week. It was a decently high score.
Yeah.
Adelaide scored 161.
Yeah.
I think they're playing into other teams' hands. Like yesterday was one of the most open games I've watched where like normally you'll never see Rankin allowed to just like run around like the back of stoppages and stuff. Like obviously, you know, Essendon ball win it, like Merritt obviously was like had an amazing game as well. But it was just so easy for Adelaide to score. It was way too easy.
Yeah. No, but like, look, in really looking at it, like Adelaide and Hawthorn are potentially 2 top 4 sides that they've had to face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we don't really know where they sit in terms of the ladder.
100%. It's hard. It's similar to like Sydney. It's hard to really gauge what their level is.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, you could obviously say they're not a top 4 team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
But they've got Port Adelaide at Marvel, I want to say, on Thursday night.
That'll be
I think that's going to be a big one. And I think you can kind of win back some fans if you can show up that night.
Yeah.
And Port Adelaide's another one I thought I rated quite highly heading into the season, but I'm not too sure. We've only seen them really against Richmond have that win and seen the best of them. But yeah, who knows what you're going to get with that game.
Yeah, it's hard to read into that at all.
I think Essendon are a much better team at Marvel than the MC.
I think a lot of teams are like that. We've seen it with North and St Kilda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I honestly think that the loser of that game, their season will be completely done.
Done.
Yeah.
That early.
Because, I mean, Port losing by 91, you know, probably destroyed their finals credentials. But I think if they lose to a team that hasn't won a game this season and, you know, has been just been absolutely smashed by Port's rivals.
There's no Dan Houston this time to kick a goal after the siren, is there?
Exactly.
And Jack Lukosius now reported that he's fractured his kneecap or something.
That's not great for him.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Look, boys, I gave you some homework over the weekend.
Good job.
And I wanted to know.
I feel like you're back in school.
Did not do it. Just like at school, I did not do the homework.
We were talking about the best number 2s, obviously, with it being the end of round 2. Talking about the best number 2s in the competition.
Yes.
So the guys who wear number 2 on the back currently.
Yep.
And I asked you all to rank it 1 to 5 for me.
You know what's surprising? I thought there'd be more like gun players that wear number 2.
Oh, wait. No, don't worry, keep going.
It was very middle of the road kind of players, but I thought there was one player that stood out more than anybody, for me at least.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys felt about it, but you guys all gave me your 5, so I'm going to rattle off the top 5 now.
Did Padge give you his 5 as well?
Yeah.
All right, love it.
Can I just say that Flynn kind of took my segment and just changed it onto his own? Yeah, because
Mick's segment needed a bit of refining. It wasn't.
So I rushed through mine.
I was inspired by your idea.
Yeah, Mick, it's called collaboration.
Yeah. Come on, man.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go from 5th to 1st. All right.
But is this You put them all together.
Yeah, I put them all together.
All right.
Yeah,
Fifth to
in your ranking order. So
this will be interesting.
in fifth place comes Jacob Hopper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good player.
Obviously, Mick didn't have him.
In fourth comes Jamara Ugelhagen.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce
Wait,
that.
so is
Ugel.
this your list or this?
No, this is all of us.
All of us, we all submitted it, and you put it into one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick's name's
still-
coming up.
It's your segment.
Nah, he'll be happy with the third place, which is Jake Waterman.
Right.
Thank you.
So, but that means it's two better. Than
In second place, Ben Keys,
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
and number one, Jordan DeGoey, the best number 2 in the competition
Can
right
I
now.
just say right now, I was just looking through that list and like the list that you sent us, and you didn't put one person's name on there.
Well, Flynn did the list, so blame
Who
Flynn.
did I miss?
Mark Lacroix.
No, this is
current players.
current players.
Oh, don't worry then.
No wonder. Oh, dude,
I was obviously like just rushing through the messages when I was doing it.
that's unbelievable.
There were honourable mentions
What
of.
do you think that DeGoey is the greatest number 2 ever?
No, because there were so many there.
If we did the whole competition, we'd be here for
Oh
hours.
my
okay,
God.
no, okay.
Well, I had a look. I think you can look up like, I think AFL tables have like,
Yeah.
you can look
But
up.
it's a huge list.
It's a huge. There's so many amazing.
we
number 2
could do it
players.
next time. For number 3, I mean, how many good number 3s are there?
It's too many. Just off the top of your head, can you think of who your top number 3 would be currently?
Oh, top of my head,
Sheasel's a 3, I think.
Nuke up at the Hawks.
He would be close.
Yeah. What about all time? Because I think Judd Bartel.
Nah, I think Lee Matthews was number 3.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He'd be top of the list for me.
Yeah.
So that's the top 5, guys. We'll see if
We'll see if that works. We're not going to get through every number.
All right, we're introducing a new segment this week, and it's called Shake and Bake of the Week.
Love it.
So, you guys...
What'd you say? You're having a bad 5 minutes.
No, I think Wayne Russell, isn't he? Use Shake and Bake, or is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He stole it from
Oh.
Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby.
That's where I got it from.
Even in the Shake and Bake.
So, look, if there's something you like during the week, you give it a bit of a shake, but if it's something you don't like, you give it a bit of a bake. So,
Yeah.
look, I'm going to throw it to you first, Flinny. What have you got for us?
Look, I was really tempted to bake the umpires from this round, particularly Friday night.
Yeah.
And obviously it benefited my team, but like just some of the decisions is unbelievable. But I was reminded of something before the podcast that just has to be spoken of. Sam Drapers set shots. That actually made me ill watching it. It was, and I've seen him do that before. The thing is, like, I get it if you're like on the angle or whatever.
Yeah.
The first shot he had was like to the right. It wasn't even in a good position for a snap. And just the way that he like sets up with the ball, like, he's like here.
You can see the concentration on him as well.
This is the most Essendon thing ever. He got jeered by his own fans. And then shushed them.
Is that after the first goal as well?
Both goals. The first goal he shushed them, but his own fans were like giving it to, because they were just like, "What the hell are you doing?"
The fact that he's doing that from the top of the goal square is just embarrassing.
Crazy.
It's embarrassing.
The thing
But
is,
how good were the murmurs in the crowd when he moved over to the side?
But don't you reckon it's sort of like a guy throwing like a free throw, like grandma style? It's like it doesn't matter if it's effective. It's just so embarrassing. Like, don't do that.
All right, look, I might go with my next one. And look, I've got a bake set up. And this one's been actually a couple of years in the making, I feel like. and no one's given it enough attention that it deserves, but I'm baking the great Stephen Silvani.
Yeah.
Look.
I'm ready.
Look, you see him at football games, right? Watching his son play.
Yeah.
Look, he's
Telling you
got...
to smile.
Yeah, he's got no one through... He does not care one lick about his son playing football. I feel like Mrs. Silvani just drags him along and he's just there like to hold her purse or something like that.
Do you think it's because a lot of people say this? I don't have my own kids, but Mick will probably understand eventually that apparently it's really hard watching your kids play footy.
Look, it's not half a Peter Dacos, is it?
Yeah, I think
Tony Liberatore?
I think
that's true,
I think Dakes has a few at the bar before every game.
What is it? Is it just because like he spent that much time being a Carlton supporter, or
Yeah, but also he works for St Kilda, So maybe there's like a conflict of interest.
Yeah, but he's done that before.
He's done it.
Before.
Yeah, he's all correct. Look, Jack has come back from an ACL. He kicks a big goal in the game and nothing. Stephen gives him nothing.
Yeah, the camera always points to him and like, he's literally just sitting there just like...
Do you reckon it's because he's disappointed in how average his sons are compared to him?
There's an interview with Jack and they're asking him like, "Yo, man, he gives us nothing." Like, you know, and he goes, "Oh, look, I remember like one of my underage games, I kicked seven in a game. I was real happy with myself." And went up to dad after, and he's like, "I should have kicked 10."
It's funny, like talking about dads. You mentioned Dacos. I heard Collingwood CEO Craig Kelly was on the radio the other day, and he was saying that he was crediting the Dacos mother for like I guess like the personality, like the quality in the sons. He was just like, does not come from Peter. It's all the mums, like because they seem so polite, like, well mannered. So. Yeah.
All right, on to you, Mick. What have you got for us?
I've got a bake and shake.
I'll
go with the
us both.
shake first. So
we need some positivity.
Yeah, we need some positivity. We've all
so
gone
the
bakes.
shake, I've gone for Rory Lobb for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Oh,
You could, you know, I'm not going to say which one I like. First, the blue hair.
Marge Simpson cosplay.
And then, I feel bad, but I hit on
Basic Cox.
But I'm not going to say which one I like.
Ah, right. Okay.
I'll go with the blue hair.
I see what he's done here.
Well, I can tell you that Mick was messaging me during the game roasting Rory Lobb's hair. So 100% he loved that Mason Cox.
No, but to be fair, I'm not like I like Mason Cox. He actually seems like a really like decent dude.
You know
I'm
what?
Not gonna lie. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah. Mason Cox, Braden Maynard are probably 2 guys you hate on the footy field, but they're actually like lovely blokes in real life.
Cox. So I met Cox a couple times. I met him at a
couple times.
Yeah, we're friends.
Meet and greets.
He was playing golf, which I don't know how he found clubs to fit to suit him. But funnily enough, so a mate that I went to the footy with on Friday night is a big Pies fan, Karjan, who was on the pod. So, obviously we watched Sam Darcy tear us up.
Yeah.
He rocked up to golf the next day and Darcy was playing. And he was just like, Darcy, he's like, you were destroying us. Like, thanks, man.
Look, big talk on...
Do you want...
you have bake. I thought that was it. No. All right, give us your bake.
And I feel bad if I wanted to bring back the booze for this certain player. Like for Jason Horne-Francis.
Oh, what?
If you watch
I
Richmond
agree.
Port Adelaide game, I think I tagged you in that video just before quarter time. He's given a cheap shot to, I think it was Vlosten on the floor while they had a tackle. Whoever it was. And they've started all, piling and stuff. And Jason Horne-Francis just walks off like it's nothing.
And all of his teammates were brawling for him.
He's just weaseled off.
It's that I did see this footage. It's a classic schoolyard kind of thing. Like you start the fight and then you just duck out the back.
So last night I was with Jamie and it was the end of the Port Adelaide game. Yeah. And I rewound back to the quarter time and showed like everyone that was there the brawl because it was so funny. It was such a funny fight.
My little bake.
It's a little back. No, fair call.
Got to start something, finish it.
Big.
What do you want to do? Punch on.
At least throw something. Throw over to the floor. Do something.
All right. Look, I am stealing one of our most popular segments from Christopher Paduano, and that's the segment "Can It Work?" So, Padgy normally
is that the working title?
Well, look, it's until someone comes up with something better. That's what we're going with.
Padge came up. I don't know if you tuned into the pod last week. Padge's one. I thought we'd never see this segment again. After what was this one last week?
Something with the V8s or with the safety cars or something.
Oh, if a guy gets injured or whatever, they have to move.
The slow
mo walk.
Yeah, they can walk. They can still play, but they have to walk. Look, not his best. And now Padgy normally likes to relate it to another sport.
Yeah.
And actually, Flynn's already heard this idea from me, so you're going to be a little bit on top of it.
Sure.
But I'm comparing it to the global TV show The Voice.
Oh, God.
Guys?
Yeah, okay.
All right, so stay with me here.
I'm with you.
Look, I believe that we should have a coach's challenge in the AFL.
Yeah.
And I think
see where
it
this is going.
it needs to be a little bit more theatrical, you know what I mean? But like, just imagine there being like a big red button in the coach's box.
Yeah.
And like, when they want to challenge like a call on the ground, they can push
Do you
the
get
red
one?
button.
Do you get one unsuccessful review?
I reckon you get one. If it's successful, you get another one. But that's it. You get two at most.
I feel like it would be extremely open to like the other team's on a fast break and you just push it.
It's got to be sort of like you got to time it well. Look, you can add some like the MCG can light up in
No, I'll
red.
tell you what would be cool is when they push it, it just goes darkness. All of the lights go out.
Could cause serious. Someone's running back.
I wanted some pyro or something.
Yeah.
But look, if you really want to make it entertaining, I reckon you do it like The Voice, and the coach's chair spins around as well.
God.
And like, just before you dismiss it, just picture like Chris Scott throwing a tantrum in the box, pressing the button in his chair, having to spin around a couple of times.
The funny thing is, the funny thing is I guarantee you coaches would get it wrong as well. They would challenge something and be wrong.
But you could do like
Seeing it from so
but also
far away.
the game is so subjective. It's like it's like you like a guy gets awarded a free kick at the end of the game, and then it's like they're like he ducked, and then they start like being like actually, but
Yeah, well, look, you get a second opinion at the very least.
What about if umpires were mic'd up like they are in the NFL and they announce like decisions to the crowd?
Player
Look,
26.
They've been doing that in the FA Cup, I think, and it
In
works
one of
pretty well.
the league.
There's just too many free kicks in an
Yeah.
NFL game. That's the
I
problem.
wouldn't mind it because even when you watch a game live, you can't hear the whistle, so you kind of just don't know if it's actually, play on advantage. If you're actually being hard done by or not.
Just going back to the umpires from Friday, some of those calls. I was sitting, in the MCC right on the wing.
Yeah.
There were two contentious calls in the last quarter that happened right in front of me. Right in front of me.
Was one the Bulldogs player?
One was, it's actually three. Mason Cox got punched in the face and didn't get 50 metres. But I mean, that was
in a marking contest.
yeah. But I
We'll
mean,
let that slide.
I think that one we'll let that slide. But the one with Bailey Dale.
Yeah.
Oh,
The ball came off his chest and went out of bounds.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the umpire furthest away paid it.
Yeah.
Like the one right there didn't pay it. Was the guy I saw.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even realise they paid a free kick. And the other one was Nick Dacos just walking over the line.
It's a big indicator of how much fans can have a say in a game.
Yeah.
Because they was just so vocal, and like Bulldogs can't match the Pies fans, you know what I mean, in that regard.
We're just feral.
But the umpire should have been a little bit better in terms of kind of not buying into that.
Yeah.
Being able to make some hard calls. But I felt like the whistles got put away a little bit towards the end.
The thing is, right, like, it's not even about the differential for me. It's just like they're paying too many free kicks just in general. Like, put the whistle away. There's so many like really soft ones in the midfield where you're like, just let him play. Like, I think Ed Richards after the game said...
He actually said he noticed the...
Yeah. He said, look, I'm more, I'd prefer it if the umpires weren't blowing the whistle as much. And I think there was, a bit of a fallout after that. So hopefully they can improve.
Well, yeah. Look, we're always going to have games like that. Like, at the end of the day, people love to complain about the umpires, but they're human. And as long as we have human umpires and don't go to like robots or something. Yeah. It's always going to be human error.
Do you guys think, I had a thought about this the other night, do you guys think umpires go for like a rogue decision at the start of the game to get themselves into the game? Like, because an umpire paid the Darcy Moore holding the ball in the first few seconds. I know, like, technically he had like one arm free or whatever, but like those never get paid, especially right in front of goal.
It's a wave thing because, like, if like one team's got 10 free kicks to 0, they're going to try find some for the other team, aren't they?
They're definitely influenced by certain games.
Same thing where like a team's down by 100 points. It's like, no, we got to give it these guys.
I just find it funny that everyone says grand final and finals are the best officiated games, but then they officiate the home and away completely differently.
Was it just because they've obviously take the best for the finals, obviously?
Yeah, but I think that's garbage.
Because that's what Razor Ray said with the 4 umpire system. He's like, you just got too many cooks in the kitchen, basically. And it's the quality of the cooks.
But the problem is, right, we're crapping on a bit, but like, they see everything, but then they miss obvious things. So it's like, it's like you look at yourself and go, how did 4 umpires not see like the most blatant thing, like a throw or whatever? But then they'll pick out the most like
obscure thing
woods from 100 meters away. That's the consistency is what we want.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right, boys, to wrap it up, we're going through a quiz.
Oh. Is it me versus Mick?
Yeah. Footy Kickin Good. I think this is our first proper quiz on a main episode. So, look, Mick, how do you feel going up against Flynn? Because Flynn's an absolute champ when it comes to this stuff.
I know Flynn is good. Bit of a nerd when it comes to football.
Real Damien Barrett.
I might have thrown some kind of easy ones for you guys just to help Mick out a little bit as well.
No, I don't need
he needs help.
Flynn, look, every chance Flynn gets it as well.
Mick's brain works at a different level to mine.
All right, guys. Question 1. At the end of...
Wait. Do we have to say our names or just...
Nah, there's no buzzers. No buzzers. It's call out.
Mikhail Quinless.
Call out. If you are wrong, give the other person like a second or two to answer. If they don't, just keep going.
Right.
Sweet.
All right. Question 1. At the end of round 2, which AFL side is second on the ladder?
Hawthorn.
No.
Jesus.
You all right there, Mick? No.
GWS.
No.
Adelaide.
Flinny gets the first one on the board. Good percentage as well.
Top?
Hawks.
Yeah. They played an extra game, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Uneven ladders. Look, what can you do?
I like it.
Question 2. Who is the West Coast Eagles' leading goal scorer so far in 2025? There's 2 names here.
Waterman?
No.
I'll go Liam Ryan.
Yep, Liam Ryan's one of them.
Harladua.
No.
Alan.
Really?
Mickey on the board.
Well, they got 2 goals each.
Actually, it was 3.
No, that's what you said about Waterman last year, and then he just exploded. So.
All right, guys. There's 2 answers for this one as well. But which team in 2025 has the youngest average age on their list?
Essendon.
No.
Richmond.
No.
North
is one.
Hawthorn.
No.
West Coast.
Whoa.
Mickey on fire.
It's on.
So North Melbourne and West Coast, average age of their list is 23.8.
Yeah.
Richmond is 23.9.
Wow.
So they're just off.
Yeah, they've still got a couple oldies.
All right, guys. Question 4 is a who am I?
Yeah.
All right. I played for 2 different clubs. I was picked 6 in the 2012 draft. I'm a premiership player. I have 3 All-Australians. After this round, I've played 151 games.
I've got no idea.
Who played 150 last week?
Just keep going.
That's Gunneater.
150.
Look, I'm trying to, without being too obvious.
Is it Broad?
No. Midfielder?
2 clubs.
Oh, no. 2 clubs.
Midfielder?
Probably
got 3 Brownlow votes on the weekend.
2 clubs.
I'm trying to think.
A ball magnet.
I don't know why this is hard.
All right, he moved clubs this year. Come on, guys.
Moved clubs this year.
And he's your number 6 draft pick in
2012, yeah.
Who the hell is this?
He played in the 2016 grand final.
Okay, so...
Luke Parker. 2016.
Caleb Daniel?
No. Come on, guys. How have you forgotten about this player?
I'm completely...
I don't know how to... I want you guys to get it. I don't want to give it to you.
This is getting embarrassing.
Wait. So...
I can't... 2012.
He got drafted by the Doggies.
Right.
So that's his first team?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he moved to a new team this year.
McRae?
Yeah, McRae.
Oh.
Jack McRae.
He's only played 150 games.
Am I beating Flynn?
No, that's wrong.
Is that wrong?
That's 100% wrong. He's played 250.
Oh, maybe it is 250.
Yeah, it is 250.
Okay, that's my bad.
That I feel like that's just null and void.
Look, I wrote it wrong. That is my bad.
Because I was thinking of because I'm like, who the
especially
he
playing
2012 and he's only played 150. I thought it was some obscure guy.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. Look, first quiz going off to a cracker, guys.
It's like Fireball Fridays. It's a shock.
He's like 30. I don't know how you thought he was.
Look, I don't know. I must have written it down wrong.
Yeah.
Look, Wikipedia. All right. All right. Heading into round 3, which 2 teams have the bye this week?
Collingwood and
It was meant to be Geelong and
yeah,
Brisbane, but it's
Collingwood and Hawthorn.
No.
it's not playing.
Collingwood's one.
Yeah.
The other one is Sydney.
Sydney.
Yes.
Flinny.
I'm back.
Coming back.
That's the biggest fluke.
Oh, shut up.
All right. Both of you boys will love this one. Question 6. In the 2018 grand final, which Collingwood player kicked the most goals?
Jaden Stevenson.
No.
DeGoey.
I didn't know.
Did he actually?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah, he kicked like 3 or 2 in the first
kicked
quarter.
3. Yeah, I have down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he kicked that running goal in the fourth quarter, put his 6 points up.
Mickey will know the ins and outs of that game.
Never seen it again.
Never seen it.
It's actually crazy that you don't watch the grand final after your team loses.
Yeah.
Do you watch 2015 again?
I legit wouldn't know what happened like after. Like, the first.
That's the funny thing is like people sometimes reference 2011
Yeah.
and things that happened.
Yeah.
I have no
No
recollection
idea.
of that game.
Yeah. I won't watch 2012 again.
Yeah.
Look, question number 7. The Western Bulldogs celebrated 100 years in the competition this week.
Hawthorn.
What?
Hawthorn and St Kilda.
What are you answering?
Is that the question?
No. Who were the 3 father sons playing for the side this week?
Darcy,
Yeah, that's one.
Liberatore,
Liver-
Yeah.
and West.
Yeah. Dude, Mickey's
thought-
killing it.
You know what I thought your question was going to be?
Yeah.
Who were the 2 teams that are celebrating 100 years?
100
this
years
year
as
or
well?
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
wanted to go early.
Just want to throw that in there.
Doing it as well.
Hawthorn's doing it this year.
Yeah.
Are they literally like same as Bulldogs?
Yeah, so I think all 3
1925.
came in at the same time.
But Hawks aren't celebrating theirs till round 8.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with
Yeah.
when they're celebrating it. Question number 8. Who is number 29 for the Saints?
Jimmy Webster.
Oh, Flynn's all over it.
See, these ones, I don't know how he knows that. Like, who knows 29 from St. Kilda? I'm
Honestly,
going 29 my own team.
It's mild autism.
All right, question number 9. The Western Derby is back next week between Fremantle and West
This is
Coast.
unfair.
What number derby will it be between these 2 sides?
30.
Be close to the pin, so you got 30. Mickey?
No, it's way more than that.
You can go again if you want.
I'll go again. I'll go with 55.
Okay.
41?
The answer is 60.
Thank you.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, considering
number
they play
60.
2 every year.
Yeah. So
Do
plenty.
if they play each other in finals, does that count as a derby?
You'd say so.
Oh, I don't
think
know.
It does.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
We've never
Because
played him in a final.
I don't think they'd have a. Because what's the medal called?
Ross,
Glendinning.
Glendinning. Now they added another guy to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Flynn, you got that one. Just bonus question. Do you know what the record is? Like who's won the more games and by how many more?
West Coast won
West
the
Coast.
most.
And how many more have they won?
I would
think we've won,
Wait,
like-
so you said there's 60. How many games?
60.
I reckon it'd be about 40 to 20.
You reckon?
Yeah.
40
West Coast way.
So you reckon they're plus 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Fremantle brought it back within 1,
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
okay.
West Coast won like 10 in
10
a row or something.
Yeah.
But Freo won a couple recently.
No, we won 1 last year.
Yeah, right.
I'll say we're up by 9.
Plus 7.
7.
Pretty
Okay.
close. All right, guys. And to wrap it up, which Bulldogs great holds the game records at the Western Bulldogs?
Chris Grant,
Not Chris Grant. He's
Brad-
number 2 on the list.
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
You got to get in, mate.
Gotta get in.
No, you said if you get it wrong, give him a second.
I could see your eyes fogging up. You were never going to get it.
All right.
Can you just
Look,
tally up the score there? Because I'm pretty sure I won that.
Yeah. Because the Jack McRae one doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
It does not
Fine,
count.
I'll take the West Coast closest thing as well. So
look, doing a quick tally, I think Mick has got it.
thank you.
Mick
So
has
I'm
got
the,
it.
Like,
So you're the reigning champ now.
yep.
Mate, when you start
I haven't lost 100%.
when you start throwing in questions about the derby, well, it's
Oh, well,
getting
he
Look at
brought
it.
something. He brought something about the 2018 grand final. Both our teams
Yeah, true.
participated.
Yeah. No, fair. Look, you can redeem yourself. possibly next week, but I don't know if I can be trusted with the quiz again. So
Yeah.
someone else might need to take the reins. But that wraps it up, boys. Any last words before we wrap it up? Who your team boys playing round 3?
We got the derby.
Oh yeah, sorry. We already talked
Sunday.
about Fremantle and Pies have got.
We're on the bye, as we discussed.
Doing great.
Honestly, nothing better than us winning on a Friday,
I agree.
getting to watch the whole round of football, and next week without having to stress.
Yeah.
And the good thing is we got Carlton. So we get a week off in between, and then we play Carlton.
Yep.
They're not on the bye next week, so we get to watch them and hope they lose to the Bulldogs.
And like I told you guys before, we ain't losing a derby this year.
Oh, that's a big call. Better put your money where your mouth is.
What's the score in the Freo game? They're probably 10 goals up by now.
We're taping like.
What's it called? My boys have got the Giants. How do you think we all go? Because
Where is it?
in Tassie.
Ooh,
I
that'll
think
be
Hawks.
a very good game.
Hawks.
I think Hawks. Yeah. Wow. Freo's up by 10 points at halftime.
All right. Really interesting.
That tells you when we
Yeah,
recorded.
what a score. Look away now.
Look away now.
Big thank you to Flynny and Mick for coming onto the show again with all their knowledge and all their good banter, and thank you for participating in the quiz that I've screwed up royally.
That's all right.
Big thank you. Look, we do have content weekly, so you can check us out on Spotify. Otherwise, every 2 weeks we've got an episode up on YouTube. So if you're enjoying what we do, subscribe, shoot us a comment. Really appreciate any feedback. But signing off, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.